Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for watching the Angryprepper channel. Anyway, today's video we're going to talk about the growing supply chain collapse here in the United States. Now, I know you guys saw my video on the global supply chain collapse, but we're going to talk about America and America specifically because we are starting to see problems here. Now, for those of you that don't know, this might be your first video watching. Why is there a supply chain collapse? Well, there's a lack of workers or labor, right? There's bottlenecking at damn near every port around the world, being that cargo ships trying to unload or load products onto those ships. We also have the current pandemic situation happening, and a lot of countries are super strict on who comes in or out of their country because they're trying to lessen the spread. So with all of that going on, there's undoubtedly going to be a supply chain shortage or collapse if it gets away from us, rather. Sorry. Now here in the United States, we are seeing some of these problems starting to rear its ugly heads here. For example, cars. I know a lot of us are not in the market for cars right now, but some of us are. And for those of us that are, we are looking at up to 6 to 8 months now, maybe 9 months, to order whatever car we want. Now, if the cars on the lot are there, it's not a problem, especially if it's used. But if you're looking for a brand new car, you're going to be waiting 6 to 8 months for a brand new car because of all of the components that go into the car. There's a shortage of microchips, batteries, and things of that nature, right? So these are things that we need to plan accordingly for if we're looking to get a new car. Now, is that a big, huge prepper problem? No, because preppers, as their second or third vehicle, should get a vehicle that's old school. Anything under the 80s, right? Or, yeah, anything under the 80s, 1980s or older, that's probably what you're going to want to deal with as far as a prepper car goes, because you don't have to worry about the electronics. You shouldn't use, let's say, if I get my Tahoe should not be my prepper vehicle, even though it's probably going to get me to point A to point B. If the shit breaks down during the shit hits the fan scenario, who's going to fix that thing, right? Because it's all electronics. So you need something that you can fix on your own. Just keep that in mind. Walmart, Target, and Home Depot are also seeing a problem, but to negate that problem, they are renting cargo ships to deliver their products. So if Home Depot, Walmart, and Target have their ships, they go to whatever port they have to go to. They get their products on that boat, and then they bring it back here. That's pretty aggressive. That's an aggressive move for them to be doing. I can see Amazon doing sort of the same thing down the line, but that is one way to get around the problem, because thing is, Walmart and Home Depot, they're empires, right? They're all over the country. And Target, right? They're all over the country, and they don't want to miss out on any of that money. And one side of me thinks maybe they're legitimately concerned about customer welfare, and so they're doing this to also make sure customers get the products. Because guys, be honest with you, they were part of the collapse. If they wanted this collapse to happen, they wouldn't be doing that. They'd be sitting back and watching it all fall apart. So when I heard that they were doing this, I was like, okay, all right, this is an interesting thing for companies to do, because I've never heard of a company do that before, at least not a private company. Usually they farm that kind of work out. These guys are picking it up themselves and hiring a crew and a cargo ship to go get their shit and bring it back. So that's pretty interesting. So last year, I remember talking to a guy that worked in Targets, and he says they were Target itself. I don't know about Walmart and I don't know about Home Depot, but Target itself, we're seeing nationwide trucks come to the Target stores either half full or quarter the way full. Usually we get trucks that are 100% full, so from front to back they're full to capacity. But he says a quarter of the way or half of the way full, he goes, that's bad. And that was last year, and that spilled over into this year. So again, being that they don't want this to carry on into 2023 or 2024, I have a feeling if they do, Walmarts and Targets are going to be closing down all over America. Not all of them, but a lot of them will be closing down around the way, which I'm hearing a lot of supermarkets, and not a lot, but a couple supermarkets chains will be shutting down by next year if they don't handle this problem. I don't know who they are. That's one of the things that I read, that a couple supermarkets might be facing closing. Now, interestingly enough, guys, you guys have to pay attention to that, the supermarkets closing, because it was something that I read, and I guess it was through an email. So if a couple of supermarkets are closing, they're not really announcing this, at least not yet. You have to pay attention because that could be in your area. There's a place I go to in Jersey called Blairstown, New Jersey, and they had a Pathmark out there. And when Pathmark folded, maybe it was a ShopRite, I can't remember what it was, but it was a supermarket out there that folded, and that is a small town. That supermarket closed down. Everybody had to go to the Walmart to the next town over, or down the road from it, wherever it was. So you need to keep abreast of what's going on to this kind of shit, guys. If you notice that your supermarket is not getting the amount of food that it normally gets, and there's a lack of food on the shelves and a lack of workers in that store, and you start noticing it dwindling, well, maybe that supermarket's on the chopping block as well. Maybe. Now, here's an issue that I pretty much didn't even see coming. You know what? It didn't even make sense to me that this would happen. But now I'm starting to read about it. Schools all over the nation are seeing a shortage in lunch food. So the kids are not getting lunch. There was one principal, I think, he ordered something like 400 pizzas, or maybe it was pizza for 400 students. I can't remember what it was, but he ordered a bunch of pizza to make sure these kids were fed during lunch, and that was out of his pockets. You had a school up in Connecticut that had notices sent out to parents stating this. So with that, guys, again, that's a problem that I didn't even see coming. So I guess a lot of parents are now going to have to start fixing lunches for their kids, if you can do so. I don't see why parents can't fix lunches for their kids, because most parents, if they can't afford it, are on welfare. So instead of buying a pack of cereals, maybe buy a fucking Lunchable for your kids. That's just me giving hard advice. But the kids are starting to be affected by this, at least in schools, guys. If the schools are not getting the lunches, and they're also running into lunch worker problem, right? So the cafeteria ladies, they're running into that problem as well. They're not getting, a lot of them didn't come back to work, and a lot of them don't want to come back to work because of the whole mandate. So they're running into that problem in certain schools. I don't know which state that is, but I know the workers are the problem, but the bigger problem is the supplies of the lunch getting to the kids. It's not getting to them. Also the truck driver problem here in the United States, which I don't really read much about, but I keep hearing it through here and there. So I'm starting to make the connection that there's got to be, if the kids are not getting lunches for their schools, there's got to be a delivery problem, right? And also the workers not be able to serve it. And there was even one school, I can't remember where, but the teachers and the principal got behind the counter to start serving lunches to the kids, right? So again, guys, this problem is growing. It's not a scare tactic. It's not fear-mongering. It's a growing problem that we need to be aware of, that when it gets into full-blown oh shit mode, we are going to be able to tackle it. We, meaning preppers. We're going to be able to tackle the shit because we saw this shit coming. So this is just more of a heads up. And if you're new to this, start getting ready. Start building your kids' lunches from fucking day to day, so that you don't have to do it every fucking morning. I would at least do it 2-3 days in advance, right? So also the bread doesn't get soggy if you're using peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But whatever. Just make sure, guys, that you keep abreast of all the shit that's going on, so when it happens, you don't flip out about it. You're like, yeah, I knew that was happening. This whole mandate shit, the vaccine, the taking a shot, losing work, we saw this coming. So I'm not flipping out about it at all, but I am running into a situation right now where I'm going to explain in a couple weeks. I can't explain it yet, but I'm going to explain it in a couple weeks, depending on the outcome of this this problem, right? So, and it's not pertaining to me directly. But anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like, subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on the Angry Truths channel, the Angry Lensman channel, and you could also listen to me on podcast, the Angry Truths channel, and the Angry Prepper channel. Other than that, guys, thank you for listening, watching. Thank you.